contestations that are taking center stage to fill those gaps within the NRM coffers. So let's go to another conversation, youth skilling in the times of COVID-19. Yes, now we do know that on July 15th, yes, World Youth Skills Day is celebrated to recognize the fact that if youth acquire skills, it will enhance their ability to make informed choices. In addition to that, they can also gain access to changing labor markets. What are we talking about? We're talking about graduates who are churned out and they do not have the skills to actually do work, even when they get into formal employment, many of whom have gotten jobs, but then 6 months into the employment, they are relieved of their duties simply because they do not have the skills. They did not acquire those skills during the education setting and are not getting the skills even out of the education setting. So that's why we are here. During these times of COVID-19, what advice do we have for our students on youth skills and the leaders also? Solomon Kaiwa Mugambe, the Executive Director of Wazesha Impact, a youth skilling organization, joins us via Zoom. A very good morning, sir. How are you doing this beautiful fine morning?
Really excited to be here.
Yes.
I'm doing well and happy to be sharing as part of this program.
Amazing. Solomon Kaiwa Mugambe, talk to us about World Youth Skills Day. What does it mean to you?
So for me, the World Skills Day means a lot. Number one, it brings the reawakening of us really getting so much focused and revisiting the different skills that we need to equip the young people with, especially given this time of the COVID-19 situation. The world is changing, the situations are changing, but as change makers in the different communities, we need to really be thinking a lot. What new skills should we be getting the youth into? What new skills should we bring up in the communities? Because there are so many changes, issues with technology, issues with what the market is demanding out there in terms of skills, then we need to be thinking more creatively and more innovatively about, which skills the young people need to have right now. Thank you.
Was Wazesha Impact, the youth skilling organization that you had, making this happen? What measures are you putting in place as Wazesha Impact to ensure that this is put into play? Skilling of the youth.
So as Wazesha Impact, our work is to really enable youth engaged in productive employment. And as we do this, we are mainly getting the young people to, one, realize the skills gap that exists, so the skills that they need to learn. Skills around communication, skills around innovation, skills around creativity, problem solving, which are very critical for any person if they are to survive in the community. And as an organization, our focus is really to work with the young people or the youth who are out there in communities and then youth who are enrolled in vocational training institutions to equip them with the life skills and the hard skills that they need to be able to thrive in life after school and life in the different communities where they live. So that is our mandate as an organization. But really, our goal is to really get the young people thrive economically and socially across communities.
Solomon, we also want to know how you're reaching out to these young people. We are largely under a very, very tough lockdown that bars actually inter-district travel and so forth. So we want to know how you're reaching out to these young people to offer them these skill opportunities and also, yes, talk to us, Solomon.
Yes, so of course, with the given challenging times of the COVID-19 pandemic, we had to innovate and think around and see how best can we continue supporting the youth in the communities, even with the lockdown. So one of the things that we have done is to set up virtual platforms through which we are able to reach the youth in the different communities. We are working with youth through conference calls, through Zoom calls, and the conference calls will apply to those who are able to access the basic phone. And then these ones, the other support which we offer through trainings via the Zoom are those who can access that kind of facility. But we've really had to tweak our programming to ensure that we are able to reach the youth, even the one in the last mile. And then number two, is that we have decided to really look at our programs and see, okay, what do the youth need in this time? A key thing that we've noticed is that there are some young people who have been able to start businesses already. They're running businesses, but because of the situation, the businesses are struggling. And now as Wezesha Impact, we are deciding to heavily invest in providing them with mentorship and any additional support that they need to be able to sustain their businesses during this period so they can really pass the test of time and thrive even after this challenging time of the COVID-19 situation.
Of course, the youth can maximize on the power of the internet and technology to be able to make ends meet as far as skills are concerned. Do you think the 12% tax on data and so forth is making it harder for our students to access these technological tools through which they can acquire skills?
Sorry, just repeat the question, please.
Yes, we are touting the use of technology by our young people so that they could maximize their skills right now. But then we do have a 12% tax on data. Do you think it will affect that resolve to have young people on the internet or engage with these technological tools that can help them acquire more skills?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, with the restrictions and tax and everything, it definitely affects. But of course, if the tax is not there, then more young people are able to access the internet and also take great use of these opportunities that are online. One of the things I would like to say is that the online platforms provide a lot of opportunities for building skills, especially with the youth. The youth today are so much familiarized with technology, and the more we can take off restrictions to access technology or access the internet, the better. So yes, if the restrictions are there with taxes, because I mean, the young people will have to choose whether to use the 1,000 shillings for either food or pay that in tax in order to access the internet. So the restrictions will definitely will affect, but I mean, we just appeal to government just that this tax is not there.
In terms of skilling, what are the facts on the ground? How is the situation in terms of youth skills in Uganda?
Today, when you look at first of all, when you look at the education system, it's okay. It's providing the skills what it's providing, but there is a gap. There is a gap, especially since there are skills that the employers are looking out for. Skills like communication, skills like problem solving, critical thinking that are not really taught within the education system. So that kind of limits. And that's why you will see that many of the employers are these days complaining and saying that we are getting half-baked graduates or half-baked employees. And that is because that's an indicator that there's a skills gap. So organizations like Wezesha Impact, together with other agencies, and also appealing to government right now, is that we need to really focus on building the capacity of such players who are coming in to support the issue of skills development, because it is needed more right now than it's ever been needed before. So yes, the situation, I mean, with the skills in Uganda, it's work in progress, I would say, but we all need to play a role in this effort and be able to get this to a level where I want it to be.
Solomon, do you believe that if all our students were to acquire the spirit of self-studying, we wouldn't be in this position? Before I let you go.
Yes, I agree. I agree that yes, if we are to all have the spirit of self-study, it would be a different story right now. But of course, that is something, when I think about self-study, it is something that I still think has to be initiated within the youth when they...
Solomon.
So...
Go ahead, Solomon.
As we work with the children, as they're growing up, what are we doing to really encourage them to gain the spirit of self-study in the schools where the children get the education? What are the teachers and the school committees doing to encourage that the children are not just given notes, but they are asked to, okay, go and research, go and read more about this, go and find about this. So then that will enhance the spirit of self-study. And I believe that it would really help in the aspect of skills building.
All right, that is Solomon Kaiwa Mugambe, the Executive Director of Wazesha Impact, a youth skilling organization. Thank you very much, sir, for having made the time to speak to us at this opportune moment.
All right, thank you so much.
And of course, you're still watching Morning at NTV. This jurisdiction of ours, Uganda, has actually registered some 88,000 and some 674 cases of COVID-19. Yes, right here within this country. 2,203 people have died. The good news, some 63,140 people have actually recovered from the novel coronavirus disease. 1.4 million tests have been conducted and less than 1.1 million vaccinations have also been undertaken. So we need to ramp up. Yes, you're still watching Morning at NTV. A breather is in the offing. Returns shortly with Sara Birete and Anderson Burora.